Hello all, this is Saranya, working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Sri Muthukumaran Institute of Technology. Today we are going to see the subject CCS354 Network Security. See, today's topic is hash function. So hash functions are extremely useful and it can be used for securing the information on information applications. Hash function is a mathematical function which converts numerical input values into another compressed numerical values. So the input of hash function is any arbitrary length, but output should be always a fixed length. So the value returned by hash functions are called as message digest or simply hash value. So this is a typical representation of hash function. First, the message is fed into the hashing value by means of using orbital length message. Is converted into hash value, that is fixed length value. Orbital length message is converted into fixed length message. See, these are the features of hashing function versus fixed length output. So hash value. So hash value is nothing but hash function converts data of an orbital length into fixed length one. So this is called as hashing the data. See, next the hash is much smaller than the input data. Hence hash functions sometimes called as compressed function. So since a hash is the smallest representation of large data, it is represented as digest. So hash function with n bits of output is referred to as n bit hash function. So corpuscle hash function generated value is between 160 to 512 bits. Efficiency of operations. So in this, the hash value is converted to fixed length value. So this is one. Properties of hash function is nothing but pre-image resistance. Secondly, pre-image resistance. So pre-image resistance is nothing but we are going to convert hard one to the revert hash function. So by using this hash function, we are producing a hash value of z. By if hash value of h is produced a hash value of z, then it should also difficult to find the any input value x that hashes to z. So this is a property. And second pre-image resistance includes this property means gives an input and its hash. It should be hard to find the different input of same hash. So if a hash function h of input x produces hash value of h of x, then it should difficult to produce the find the output input values, other input values y such that h of x y is equal to h of x. This is the second property. And next one is collision resistance. So collision resistance is nothing but main property is the main property is hard to find two different inputs of any length that results in same hash. For same hash, they're probably going to produce two different length outputs is not an proper one. So this type of property is called collision-free hash function. In other words, hash function h is where h it is hard to find any two different input x and y such that h of x is equal to h of y. So this is another one property. Uh, we are going to avoid collision resistance. Next, design of hash algorithm. See, this is a proper design. Here, there are two or more data blocks are there. We are going to fit this into the mathematical hash function, and then we are going to produce a hash value. See, at the heart of hashing, mathematical function operates on two fixed blocks of data to be created a hash value, two fixed block size. Next, hash functions forms the part for the hashing algorithm. The size of each blocks depends on the algorithm varies. So it may be from 128 bits to 512 bits. So next one is authentication. So authentication is nothing but verifying the data. The data must be authorized by the validity of data is also be predicted by means of the authentication. So authorization is more granular process that ensures the authenticated users or process have been granted permission to gain access to the specific resource classes. So this is authentication. Authentication using hash function. How authentication is made by means of using hash function. Authentication verifies the identity of the center. Center's identification will need to be verified, and the data integrity was also measured by using a hash function. And then it's again handler security hash. So combined with the keys for authentication. Hash value is combined with the key for authentication purpose. So role of hash function. Convert the messages into fixed length random message size into fixed length digest and one-way collision resistance and provides integrity but not authentications alone. So message authentication code MAC use secret keys and hash functions. MAC is equal to hash of secret key slash MAC message. So it ensures the integrity and authentications. And how the MAC works, we are going to see. Sender generates a MAC using security key and message and MAC are sent together. And receiver recomposes a MAC using same key and matching a MAC conflicts authentically. So next one is hash-based message authentication code. This is standard and secure MAC technique and uses inner and output padding. So resistance or to length extension or extension attacks may be happen in this form. So since the all the length of the message length is fixed one, this may be avoided. This attack may be avoided. So next one is digital signatures using hash function. Hashing of message encrypted with a private key and public key uses for verification provides authentication and non-repetition functions in case of hashing function. Hash only represents the integrity and also MAC represents the integrity and authentication. So this hash function is mainly used to convert the any random sized messages to fixed size messages so that you can easily prevent from the unauthorized access. So thank you. Thank you so much.